Hi, I'm Rabbi Marc Kline, Monmouth Reformed Temple, and this is Shabbat Shalom with a heart-healthy dose of Torah. You know, more than the best and well-paid spies, our children are watching. And they gather more data than anybody who might investigate us. They're not tracking us, but they're learning from us. And everything we do registers in their hearts and in their minds and in their behaviors. You know, some of a parent's best stories are the times when their young children, having repeated something a parent said that shouldn't have been said, when it comes out of the mouth of a baby. Apples, don't fall far from the tree. So this week we look at, and actually the next several weeks we'll be looking at how this adage of the apple has a great deal to say in what we do and what we occasion upon each other. If we go back, Abraham chose between two sons. He chose Isaac over Ishmael and kicked Ishmael out of camp. And then Isaac and Rebekah chose Jacob over his twin brother Esau and left Esau without. And Jacob chooses Joseph to be his favorite, to the exclusion of all his other children. And Joseph is so endowed with this privilege that he actually dreams that his brothers and sister and parents bow before him. And yes, it's a little foreshadowing because he will become the head of all of Egypt, but in the process, he garners a lot of power. And when he reconciles with his family and brings them to Egypt, it's in the middle of a famine, and he settles his family in the Goshen area, which is the most fertile still of all Egypt. And while the Egyptians are having to sell themselves into slavery just to get to their grain back, Joseph's family has everything to the want of the child. There's no question why, when a new Pharaoh arose, he knew not the authority of Joseph. He didn't recognize the value of Israel. He saw them as usurpers and takers, and hence Israel was enslaved. Folks, what we do has long-term ramifications. We may benefit short-term from usurping someone's power or living with someone's favoritism, but there's long-term consequences. We know that in every part of history, every revolution happens because one group accepts power over another. In our own country, we're in 401 years of black slavery and oppression. And as people are starting to be upset and the protests are starting, it's amazing how people in power don't understand why the oppressed feel oppressed and don't feel the power to listen. You know, faith teaches that we're supposed to help each other and listen to each other and hear each other's cries, even if we don't understand. And where we don't understand, it's an opportunity for us to learn and for us all to grow. So it's time to return to human. Hanukkah is this week. We're in the midst of the holiday of rededication. Time to take a step back and remember that we depend on each other. We need each other. And the things that we have used to separate us from each other ultimately will show up as our own demise. So look into the eyes of your neighbor and remember to see God staring back. Whatever color, race, orientation, gender, religion, we're all in this together, and we have to rethink our own power structure and learn to get back to the basics. So join us as we celebrate Shabbat, and we'll also light our Hanukkah menorah tonight at 7 o'clock at monmouthreformedtemple.org, and let's change the world. Shabbat Shalom.